All right, this won't be a long video. This is the Monday before the FOMC announcement on Wednesday, which is probably considered to be kind of a big deal. Um, so typically the Monday and Tuesday before FOMC are pretty dead. We're also running into that scenario where you had that crazy move in SMX and TGL, and so now you got groups of traders trying to say, hey, this is the next one because it's got a low float and there's just a lot of pops and drops in pre-market. I've seen several of them in after hours. And as I typed in chat, you can eviscerate your account by chasing these things, right? You want to make sure something has news and then play a clean pullback, not, hey, this is the next SMX, because rarely do you see the next SMX shortly after the first one, right? We did have TGL, and I don't know. Just be careful out there. So what are we watching? By the way, some nice calls. Keith R on DBRG. Couple calls in chat on WVE today, which had a huge move, and then Frank with CAPR. So some nice calls in chat on kind of a dead day. But anyway, what are we watching tomorrow? For potential day trades, remember that these are these are in-play stocks, but I'm looking for day trades in them. They usually give the best intraday setups because they get plenty of volume and usually clean pullbacks and that sort of thing. So anyway, BDRX. After that lecture I just gave, I will say BDRX is probably one of those low floaters that could be the next SMX, is what they're saying, right? But it did have a strong close, so I am going to watch it tomorrow. It did have big volume today. DAWN. Just had a nice volume spike today and topped at the whole number. So maybe through 9 tomorrow. We're going to watch that one for a setup. OCUL, big breakout today. CMCT. I could not find a headline on this one, but it had decent volume, so we're going to watch it tomorrow. BACQ, kind of a sleeper pick. I mean, it had that pop on Friday, but it's worth noting that still was, maybe close to 3 million shares, and then today dropped all the way down to maybe 600,000. So it's not heavily traded by any stretch, but it could be a third day play. AEVA, it's kind of flagging after that 2-day pop. So it goes back on watch. Toro, TORO, could be a third day play. CGEM had a really nice 2-day run back here. Came back down to that buy zone between the 8 and 20 and caught fire again today. Decent volume. So that one's interesting to me. QCLS also kind of feels like a sleeper pick, but it had massive volume a couple sessions ago, right? Over 90 million shares, put in a topping looking candle, and then today volume just dropped completely off and it put in this kind of fairly narrow candle. So it goes back on watch, but it's amazing to me how something could trade 90 million shares and then go down to 3 point something million 2 sessions later. But anyway, it stays on watch. IRBT. Okay, so if I had a gun to my head and had to pick what this is going to do tomorrow, I'd probably suspect it's going to be lower, right? Because you had this crazy move, nasty topping tail, and a red day today. But it is absolutely an in-play stock and made a huge move from here to here. I'd like to see one more red day, and then it would be maybe, my top watch for a bounce on Wednesday. But I am going to already start watching it tomorrow for a potential turn back up. PLRZ, I got to zoom in so you can kind of see this one. You had this big gap up, but it never broke its high that day. It's early high, and then the next day put in a lower high, and today lower high. So it's a decent setup for a potential bounce play, and that's only with a bounce play setup on an intraday basis tomorrow. So it goes on watching. Then XCUR, as I'm talking to you, this is trading at 1209 in after hours. It went as high as 1585. They did have a nice sounding headline in after hours. So that'll be on Gap Watch tomorrow, and I'm already done babbling. I'll see you guys in the pre-market, and we'll add some gappers to the list. All right, have a good night.